our community needs to re-strategize. And one way for us to re-strategize is to individually, personally invest in ourselves.
I could see the tears in his eyes. He wasn't okay with it. But we went to the room. The whole drama started and everything. And it just happened. So that was the little time I had with him before he was caught and everything. And but
did you say he was caught?
Of course, he was caught, but not with me. His story is another different word. Majorly, everybody in the family will be like, Joseph, you have to stop this. Because he likes this and he had this particular spec of children or what I believe that started with me. So he normally gets attracted to them. So
was he, sorry to cut you short again, was he caught with another child?
Yes, he was caught with another child of perhaps 18 years as at then. I think that should be 5 years ago. So he was caught in the act and was charged to court. He just came out, he was discharged last year December. So
how many years did he stay in prison?
4 years. 4 years. Because along the line, the family of the guy decided to forget everything about it. But almighty Nigeria decided to hold him back. So after every spendings and everything, all the 4 years he wasted in the prison, he was able to be released on 1st of December last year. And guess what? Even him coming back, the man can never stop disturbing my phone. He can't.
So if he calls you today again, will you go back?
Seriously, I've been trying to avoid him because now I have a boyfriend. So if actually I don't have a boyfriend, come on, I'll go back. I'll just go and have something to do with him. I love him. He has everything I'll ever want. So,
in Igbo land, this is what we call an abomination.
I know.
How do you feel if people find out about this? If your parents hear about this story?
Or should I ask, how do you think my parents felt when I told them last year about it?
How did they feel?
Well, I had to open up about my sexuality and decide not to stay in the box any longer. So it was really, really tough and hard for me then. But I thought my parents would be kind of someone that would behead me or what. But surprisingly, they couldn't. So it happened this way. I went to my hometown where we were celebrating our Easter festive. So there was this guy, I normally do help my aunt in her bar or restaurant. So there was this guy that normally drives down and have a drink, and I was having this stuff on him. I was having this crush on him. So I just want to have him by all means, you understand. So one of the days I offered him drink. Of course, he drank it, and I decided to just try everything possible to make sure I have him. So when he came back about 2 days later, I packed some drinks into his vehicle and told him that I'll be spending the night in his house. Well, I never knew about his sexuality, but I decided to, I don't know, I was so stupid then, like I was really stupid. So we drove home. It was at night when he was asleep. I started the missionary journey, like I started romancing him and touching him. So along the line, he woke up. He was at first mad, but secondly, he calmed down. And he wasn't angry with me, but the whole stuff is that I left the house. He angrily asked me to leave his house. And that was around 1 a.m. in the morning. And his house to us is just a stone throw. I think it's about 10 minutes walk. So I had to walk back to my house. The next morning, I was just afraid. He seized my phone. He took my phone even up to now. So I had to get another one. So I was thinking that he would come and complain to my aunt. So that day, the next day, I had to meet my aunt. I told my aunt, this is what I did, and I just want you to know before the guy comes and tell you this, tell you that. And she was like, that's cool, because it was even there that she told me that she was one of the community members before she got married. So I was
So
even
your
surprised.
auntie is part of the community but married.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Go on.
Exactly. I think this is running in the family somehow. So she told me that.
I guess so. It runs in the blood. Blood is thicker than water, they say.
So she told me that she was a part of it, and before she got married, and I asked her, what should I do? She told me that she has been suspecting me to be, that since I don't hang around girls, she hasn't seen me with girls, everything about me is so different, the way I answer my calls and everything. So she said that I should go home the same day and tell my parents about this, so that the whole story will not be surprising to them. So I decided I would go the next day, being on a Thursday. So on that Wednesday, I was still at the bar serving people when the guy came. The guy came and called my attention. So I came outside and he told me, I hope you haven't told your aunt about this. I told him, yes, I've already disclosed the matter to her. And he was angry. He was really angry. He was like, you shouldn't have said that. I told him I was afraid you were going to complain. And he said he never had it in mind to do so. That he was just forgetting everything that had happened without me knowing that he was even among the community members.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about, I think it was about 6 months later, I had this friend of mine in my hometown that I went to meet in his school at Owerri. That should be 6 months ago. I went to meet him, that he told me that this guy is, that he had, he was able to prove it and everything. So I was surprised. It was then I was able to relate the reason why he couldn't complain. He was just quiet. But the question is, why did he seize my phone? Why did he take the advantage of the situation and then withheld my phone? So that is something I can't still get up to now. So the whole thing was, he got mad, and my auntie already said that she would talk to him without my auntie knowing that he was one among the community members. Yeah, so the both of them spoke, and I never know what they said. So
but let's backtrack to your parents' side. When your parents, how did they? We've known the whole situation of you going to the festival, of you seeing this guy, of all the incident happening. But how did your parents find out?
Well, I traveled home the next day, being Thursday, and already they have gotten a rumor from one of my aunts that was in the village. They already know how to, match talk and everything. So when I got home, my dad was like, what am I hearing? So my mom calmed him down and told him to calm down, that this is not Joshua, that we already know this guy now, so it can't be true. So we all were sitting in the sitting room where my dad asked me, it was just a simple question. Is it the truth? Yes or no? The truth that it took me about 30 minutes to answer, I was just quiet. I was looking at them. I was really engulfed with fear of what might happen, because I've heard stories of many people being disowned because of it. But along the line, I just told them, yes, it's true. My dad was quiet and was shocked. So my mom then asked me, what happened? How did it start? It was there I started narrating all the stories from beginning when I was 7 and everything, telling them the stories and everything. So my dad could just tell me 2 words: be careful. That was just his word. Be careful.
And this your uncle, is it from your father's side or your mother's side?
My uncle is from my father's side.
Okay.
So my dad told me be careful, and my mom could just gladly, she went into the kitchen, prepared my favorite food and served me. I was mad. Like, seriously, this family, I'm enjoying it.
And you did not suspect anything?
No, my dad told me that he's going to speak with my uncle, but there was something that happened. Because my dad had to tell the siblings, of which the siblings already know what is on ground. So they called my attention and everybody was around when my uncle was still at prison. So they phoned him and told him, this is what Joshua is saying. Is it true? The fact is that he denied it. He said it's not true, that he's only taking the advantage of the fact that he knows I'm one of the community members. So he's trying to push in everything. So what I told him on phone is that you can deny it audibly, but you can't deny it visibly. That when you see me face to face, deny it. Let me know. So that was the whole stuff. I told my parents, I opened up, I told them, this is it, this is that. And there was no argument, no fight, nothing. Just my dad words, be careful. And since then, I've been careful.
How do you feel now? How do you feel with this whole situation? Will you say you're okay, or will you say you are coping? How do you feel? Academically, financially, has it affected any area of your life, even with your current love affair?
Well, I am so perfect about it. I could remember one of the days my mom had to call me when I traveled. I was surprised. She only called me to ask me how I'm dealing with my sexuality. She was like, how are you doing? I said, I'm fine. Any problem? Like, no, mad, no problem. I think you're coping well and everything sexually is okay. Yes, ma. And she said, I'm going to put you in more prayers. And that was just it. Okay, along the line, they have to invite our pastor, the family pastor, to all this deliverance and everything. And the man sat me down in the presence of my whole family. My siblings were there. Even so now, my siblings knows I'm gay. Most especially, they stayed there. I talk with my boyfriend. They also speak with him, and everything except the nasty things can never come in around. And they called the man. The man was there in the presence of everybody. So he asked me, are you comfortable being this? I told him, yes, I'm okay. So when I said that, he decided not to pray. It was like, if you are, then there's no need. Praying is not going to solve this out. Before someone gets delivered, he must agree that he doesn't want it before the deliverance.
Before we continue, there's somebody at your back, if you don't mind.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Oh, that's not the problem.
Okay, go on.
So, he told me that since I'm comfortable with it, that I shouldn't bother, that there's no reason doing that. So that was how the prayer was dismissed. So since then, my family forgot everything about it. But my dad gave my siblings a strict warning that nobody on earth among them should open their mouth and abuse me or render insults on me because of that. And that they have kept strictly. So in the house, I'm comfortable with it. Academically, oh my God, I'm someone that can come out in the public and say, I'm this. I know the country forbids it, but I'm someone that can comfortably say I'm this. So I'm fine with it in my family.
It's amazing how your parents understand what you've gone through. They understand the trauma. It's amazing to see your parents accept you for who you are. But at the same time, society will still be society. Society will still frown at this. Society will still say this should not be. Many people in Nigeria, for those watching, half of us, our first sexual encounter was either with a house girl or a houseboy or uncle or aunties. It is very important that we know who we are keeping our children under, because they will determine a huge part of their life, sexually, spiritually, or otherwise. This is a call that people need to start watching out for their children, because for you now, you are okay with it, but for somebody out there, this same experience happened and the person looks at it from a negative side. It's an abuse. If you like it or not, your uncle literally abused you. This should not have happened to you. You should have grown up. He stole your childhood. He stole your innocency. He stole everything about you. Your first sex, he stole it from you. You should be the one to choose who you should have sex with when you are ready, when your body is fully matured. At 7, 8 years old, you should not have been in a romantic relationship, if you like it or not. And the second thing is that though that you are comfortable, it is okay to be comfortable, because these days you can't tell anybody what to do, but it is also advisable that you need to seek someone. Now you're talking about it, but you still need to seek therapeutic help, to help you navigate it. Because if you like it or not, this incident will affect you sexually. Because I myself, when I was younger, we used to have a maid, and this maid one day came and started touching me. And the one thing about my own story is that when she started touching me, I didn't know who to, tell to. I couldn't tell my mom. My mom was in school. My dad was a captain or a marine engineer. My dad was always on the high seas. So the only person I had was my mother's sister. And when she finally caught us and the whole situation escalated, I expected me to be free, but I was never free from that bondage of that sexual assault. And it still haunts me to today, because my father did something different. My father, when he heard about it, I was 10 years old. I remember very well, 10 years old. He was like, "What is this nonsense? Take off your clothes." And my father flogged me bare bottom. And I never forgot about it. I never even forgave myself for a long time. I kept on blaming myself. It is because I walked this way. It is because I approached her this way. It is because I was so close. I kept on blaming myself. I kept on blaming everybody, and it affected me academically, socially, sexually. And I'm pretty sure it is affecting you the same way. And it is always good to talk about it. It is always good also to move on. The most important thing is that things like this will happen, and society will always be society. But if you're watching me and something like this has happened to you, move on. There is, like they say, a bright light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, Obed Joshua, for coming on today's one-on-one segment. It has been an interesting moment with you. Really sorry about what happened to you, but at the same time, I'm really happy that you have, climbed the ladder of success. You have a new relationship. You're doing well academically. You are brave. You are bold, which is one thing I admire about you. Thank you, Obed. Final words from you before we close.
What I would say, firstly, thank you for the opportunity once again. But I should just say this to everybody out there: no matter what, just move ahead. And to our parents, they should just mind whomsoever they keep in care with us. They should just mind whomsoever that looks after us, because one way or the other, they are influencing us. And like you said, the truth is kind of affecting me, or shall I say, it affected me sexually, until I had to just, because then I was like, it must be someone of his age, until I met my boyfriend that changed every mindset I had and everything. So once more, I will say thank you, sir, and thank you for the opportunity to be here with you. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thank you for coming on one-on-one. And please make sure you like, comment, and share this video. I want to know what people feel about it. If you've had an experience like this, please write it in the comment. I'll be reading the comment sections, and I'll be responding to all your questions and answers. And peace out.